Meditation is one of the most powerful things that we can do as human beings. It changes your life in ways that are hard to even imagine. It gives you superpowers of control over your mind and your emotions. It allows you to be happy in the most difficult of situations, happy just to be alive, to be able to experience existence in this moment. It puts you in touch with reality as it is. You just see clearly. It allows you to appreciate life instead of walking around on autopilot. Tim Ferriss studied hundreds of the world's most successful people. Over 80% had a daily meditation practice. Meditation is a metta skill. It's a skill that improves all of your other skills. It's a skill at being skilled. Meditation improves everything: relationships, emotions, ability to focus, career, artistic and creative abilities. Everything is improved by meditation because meditation gives you mastery of your mind. It gives you mastery of your attention, of your ability to focus on what you want to focus on. It helps you warm your heart, be more in touch with your body, more aware of yourself, more aware of your experience of life. So if you feel disconnected from the world in any way, if you feel anxious in any way, depressed, overwhelmed, stressed, meditation helps you transcend all of those things in just a few minutes. In this course, we explore dozens of meditation styles from all over the world. Meditations I've learned in Thailand, Bali, California, New York. I interview experts in meditation from all over the world. Wim Hof, the Iceman, he climbed Everest in his shorts, Zen Buddhists, Tibetan monks, and you can learn about all those different types of meditation in this course. Each meditation style has its own benefits, but they're all very powerful and all have the power to change your life in amazing ways. This course is going to be dozens of hours of high quality, very helpful meditation content that's going to help you learn how to meditate in pretty much every possible way. It can take you from knowing nothing about meditation to literally teaching meditation to others professionally. This course is accredited, and you will actually get a certificate at the end of the course to become a certified meditation teacher. This course is made for people of all meditation levels and skills. You can start out as a complete newbie, or you can start out as someone who's been practicing, let's say, Zen Buddhist meditation or mindfulness meditation. In this course, we'll go through all of those meditations and more, and you'll learn meditations from all over the world. So anyone of any level can gain a lot from this course. This is not going to be one of those 1-hour courses where I just give you the basics and that's it. I'm going to keep adding to this class forever. This is my meditation masterclass. I feel I was born into this world for a reason. I want to make the world a better place, and I think that the best way I can do that is by teaching meditation to people like you and to people all over the world. That's why I've made it my life's mission to spread meditation throughout the world as much as possible. I think that not only does this make people happier, individuals like you, but I think it makes the world as a whole a better world. When more people are happy, kind, compassionate, awakened people, the world becomes a better place. When you walk around in a world of happy, smiling, joyful people, it feels a lot better than walking around in a world of depressed, anxious, stressed out, angry people. And also, the more awakened and happy and compassionate and kind our electorate, the more awakened and happy and compassionate and kind our elected leaders will be. This course is my masterclass. This is the course that I refer my friends and family to when they ask me to teach them meditation. I've been teaching meditation for over a decade now, and I've always wished that I could just have a link that I could send to people that asked me to meditate when I didn't have time, and I wish I just had a link I could send you. This is that link. Taking this course may be the most important thing that you do for yourself in your entire life. And as hyperbolic as that sounds, it's really true. So many of the world's most successful people have a meditation practice. Mastering your mind and mastering your emotions means mastering your life. That's what it means. Without being in control of your mind and your emotions, your life is out of control. This course will put you in control of your life. It will put you in control of every part of your life. Love, relationships, money, career, happiness, emotions, everything. All of those problems that you think you have, will dissolve in the light of your consciousness, your awareness, and your equanimity, which you'll learn all about in this course. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. People often ask me why they should meditate. What's the point of meditation? Now, when you're sitting in meditation, you shouldn't be trying to get anywhere. It's the only activity that you do in life that you do with no purpose. Well, actually, I take that back. It's not the only activity. There are other activities that you do that when you do them, you shouldn't have a purpose. As an example, dancing. If you're dancing, you're enjoying the dance. If you do it with a purpose, it's not really dancing. You're not really enjoying it. You're just doing it for a certain reason. Maybe you're trying to film something for TikTok or something. But if you dance from pure joy, there's no point to it. You just do it because it's beautiful and it makes you happy. The same goes for things like making love or having sex. If you do it with an idea in mind of somewhere that you're trying to get, it's not as good as if you just enjoy it in the moment. The same goes for holding a child or enjoying a hug with a loved one. Meditation is kind of like that. When you're practicing it, you shouldn't be thinking about the benefits that you're trying to get. Rather, you should be sitting and enjoying it. Just enjoying the simple act of meditating itself, of sitting, of experiencing this moment, of experiencing being alive in this moment. That is the ultimate purpose of meditation, to enjoy the experience of being alive, to enjoy and appreciate the fact that we get to exist at all. If you're always running around, always trying to do a million things all the time, work, social life, all these things, if you're always doing that and your mind is always on these little minutiae, these little details of life that are just the details of life, are just the things inside of your life, you never get a chance to enjoy life itself, being alive, right here, right now, in this moment. Before we continue along with this course, I'd actually like for us to take a couple of breaths just to appreciate and enjoy the fact that we are alive right now, here in this moment. When you breathe in, feel your entire body breathing in. And when you let the air out, feel your entire body exhaling. Feel your entire body here in this moment, breathing. And smile with the knowledge that this moment is priceless. Being alive is priceless. It's beyond anything else in this world. The fact that we get to experience anything in the first place. To experience being alive here in this human body, here in the 21st century on Earth, in this beautiful planet. It makes us feel grateful for being here. It makes us feel grateful for this moment. I feel grateful to be here making this course for you. I hope that you find gratitude in the fact that you have found this course and that you have decided to take this course. I think this is a nice moment to thank yourself for taking the initiative to start this course for yourself, for your happiness, for your health, for your sanity, and for your life. While the appreciation of being alive is the most important benefit of meditation, there are many other benefits of meditation as well. Like Tim Ferriss said, it's a meta skill. It's a skill that improves all your other skills. It improves your ability to relate to yourself and others. It improves your ability to manage your thoughts and emotions and your nervous system. It improves your ability to be productive over long periods of time. And most importantly of all, it improves your ability to be happy in life and in this very moment. There are many psychological disorders or conditions that have been proven to be helped by meditation. Thousands of studies have been done on mindfulness and meditation, and thousands of studies have shown that meditation can help with things like anxiety, depression, ADHD, narcissism, stress, chronic pain, shyness, sexual dysfunctions, and much, much more. It has also been shown to increase levels of creativity, feelings of well-being, happiness, compassion, empathy, love, and more. For a complete list of benefits of meditation, I don't think it's possible to put together a complete list, but for a long list of benefits of meditation, check out the handbook that goes along with this video course. Over the last few decades, mindfulness has been gaining a lot of popularity. And meditation and mindfulness are very similar and related concepts. So it may be a little confusing to try to understand the difference between mindfulness and meditation. What is mindfulness? What is meditation? Are they the same thing? Are they different? Is one better than the other? Well, first of all, let's just understand that words are words. Meditation means different things to different people. Mindfulness means different things to different people. But in general, mindfulness is a type of awareness where you're completely absorbed in the present moment, completely aware of what's going on around you, what's going on inside you. That's mindfulness. It's being present in the moment. And you can be completely aware in a broad way of everything that's going on around you and inside you. It's called situational awareness. If you've ever seen a spy movie where the spy knows exactly what's going on over there and over there, or a superhero movie where somebody is able to catch a punch even though it should have been barely in their peripheral vision. That's situational awareness. That's basically a mindfulness of your surroundings. You can have full mindfulness of your body, you can have mindfulness of your surroundings, you can have mindfulness of a lot of different things. It just means you're aware and alert to what's going on. Meditation, on the other hand, is a more concentrated practice. You can go about your day in mindfulness. You can wash dishes mindfully, you can go to a meeting and be mindful in the meeting, basically being alert, being present, showing up mentally for the meeting, rather than daydreaming and drifting off. That's mindfulness. Meditation is more intense, you could say. It's more concentrated. So, for example, if I want to sit in meditation, I might sit here and close my eyes and look inside. And I may be using mindfulness as part of the meditation. Actually, most meditations use mindfulness as a key component of the meditation. But instead of being mindful of everything, in most meditations you're choosing one object to be mindful of and to focus on. So it's the difference between broad focus and narrow focus. Meditation is often called and described as one-pointed awareness or single-pointed awareness. So for example, you may take the body as your object of meditation, as they do in the Burmese tradition of Vipassana. You become completely mindful of your body, you become completely aware. Try it now so you get a general idea of what I'm talking about. If you don't try it, it's hard to understand. Just become completely aware of your body. Now you're mindful of your body. Feel all the sensations in your arms, in your legs, in your back, in your head. Just be mindful of all of it. Now, using this single-pointed awareness, this is a pretty broad meditation because we're being aware of our whole body. But let's say we just want to narrow it down. What if we just want to be aware of the sensations on the tip of your nose? That's a more narrow mindfulness. Mindfulness of a smaller point. The more narrow you bring your focus, the more single-pointed your mind becomes. And the more you do that, the more it becomes a deep meditation. The concentrated mind. It's kind of like concentrated orange juice. If you've ever drank, like very liquidy orange juice, it's like blech, blech, blech. But if you drink really concentrated orange juice, it's also really disgusting because it's too much. You have to water it down. We have to have the right amount of concentration. But concentrated mind, normally, it's at some kind of mid-level of concentration. It's like, if it's too focused, then you miss out on everything in your peripheral vision. So you can't go around in life super, super focused like that. You'll walk into the street and get hit by a car. If you never focus on anything, then it's also very hard to live life because you can't really do anything deeply. So we're able to vary the focus of the mind from very broad to very narrow. Very broad would be that perfect situational awareness, which would be that broad mindfulness. And very narrow would be a single-pointed awareness, single-pointed meditation, single-pointed mind. Now, whatever you're paying attention to and whatever you're aware of is what you're mindful of, whatever you're awake to. So, for example, you may be having a dream. Let's say you're asleep and you're in a dream state. Often in dream states, we don't even realize we're dreaming. Maybe there's stuff going on, but we're not even really fully there. That is a lack of mindfulness. If you become mindful in that dream, it's called lucid dreaming. You're like, oh wow, I'm dreaming. Whoa, I can fly. This is crazy. That's being mindful inside of a dream. You can also do that in life. If you're not mindful in life, you're walking around like a zombie. You're walking around on autopilot. If you're walking around like that, you're missing life. You're missing out on your life. And most people are walking around to some degree in that type of lack of mindfulness, in that type of just autopilot, just walking through life, not even realizing that they're alive. Mindfulness is waking up into life and being awake and aware of being alive. You can also apply mindfulness to a very specific thing, like maybe having a conversation with a person or making a video or watching a video. You can apply mindfulness to that and become focused on that and concentrated on that. And the more concentrated you become, the more concentrated your mind becomes. And the more concentrated your mind becomes, the more you can access these deep states of meditation. So I don't know if you've ever played an instrument or a sport where you became so completely absorbed, it felt like you were in like some kind of a magical zone, like the zone, you're just like really just absorbed in that one thing. That playing an instrument would be mindfulness of playing an instrument. Playing a sport, you're mindful of playing football or baseball or basketball or whatever. Running a business, if you're completely absorbed in what you're doing. Making art, you're completely absorbed in what you're doing. These are more concentrated forms of mindfulness that are going toward the realm of meditation. Playing an instrument can be a meditation. It can take you into some powerful states. When we practice meditation with very single-pointed awareness, with things like the breathing, watching the sensations of the breath flowing in and out of the body, when we practice with the body itself, the sensations of the body, when we practice with something like a candle flame, staring at a candle flame for a long time, or repeating a phrase, a mantra over and over again and concentrating on that sound or the vibration of the vibrations inside of your body, the vibrations in your eardrums. When we really concentrate, it can lead us into these very deep, altered states of consciousness. These are very different states of consciousness than your everyday state. Meditation can take you into these very trippy, altered states. And these trippy, altered states are often filled with beautiful, beautiful emotions. Sometimes they're filled with other things like chattering mind. Sometimes they're filled with peak experiences. You could call it even out-of-body experiences, where you're experiencing being expansive, being the universe, realizing nothingness and infinity and eternity and the nature of time and space and everything. It's crazy. It's some Doctor Strange shit. And these deep and powerful peak experiences can be life-changing. They can show you something that you didn't know existed. They can show you things about yourself and reality that you could never have imagined, that you can never describe fully to anybody else. That's why meditation is all about practice. It's all about doing it yourself. It's all about sitting and doing the meditation yourself, because you can never understand these things without experiencing it yourself. Human language is not designed to convey these types of experiences, period. So we use mindfulness as a tool within the meditation, because you can't meditate without having that one single-pointed thing that you're mindful of. That's what takes you into the deep states of meditation. And then, by practicing mindfulness in these meditations, we actually become more mindful in daily life. It's just like working out a muscle in your body. See giant muscles right here. Yeah, it's because I meditate. Actually, I'm not like a weightlifter. I'm more of a mental weightlifter. I spend more time working on my mind. You can do whatever you like. Maybe lift weights, build up your outer body too. Just like you exercise any muscle in your body, you can exercise faculties of your mind, neural pathways in your brain. Scientists have been studying neuroplasticity for decades. Neuroplasticity is the capacity of your nervous system to change and adapt based on how you use it. So someone who plays violin, for example, is using their fingers in a certain way, and the part of the brain responsible for those fingers actually grows. The same thing happens with meditation, and studies have confirmed this. Meditators have actually changed their brains over years of meditation, increasing the parts of the brains that are dealing with empathy, with responding in a moment, and decreasing the parts of their brains that are the automatic fear responses and things like that. Actually decreasing the physical matter in the brain. It's crazy. Changing your actual physical brain. So just like exercising your muscles changes the physical muscles, exercising your brain in certain ways changes the shape and size of your brain. So by exercising the mindfulness part of your brain, the part of your brain that's responsible for being awake and aware and here and present and focused and concentrated, by exercising those attentional parts of your brain, you're making it possible. You're making it easier for yourself to be able to be at a higher baseline level of mindfulness in the rest of your day. That's why people who meditate, who have a daily meditation practice, are some of the most successful people in the world. That's why Tim Ferriss found that 80% of the most successful people in the world that he interviewed have this daily meditation practice, because when you practice meditation, when you practice that focus and presence, being here, being alive, being focused, being awake in this moment, when you go about the rest of your day, you're here, you're present, you're the one that's the most conscious. And the person that's the most conscious wins. That's just how it goes. Imagine it like this. Imagine you're in a room filled with a bunch of sleeping people, and you have to compete with them in some way. Maybe there's a pile of money in the corner. Hey, who's going to get the money first? Probably the person that's awake. Probably the person that's able to focus and go and get the money. That's who's going to win. And that's kind of what it's like in real life. When you have a meditation practice and you walk around in the world and you're surrounded by all these people who are sleepwalking, who don't really know what's going on and aren't really paying that much attention, you win. So coming back to the topic of mindfulness versus meditation, mindfulness and meditation go hand in hand. You need mindfulness in order to meditate. And when you meditate, you enhance your brain's ability to be mindful. That's why it's important to practice both. It's important to have a set time per day that you sit and meditate, maybe in the morning, maybe in the evening, maybe both. Ideally, both. For me, I usually practice a breathwork meditation in the morning. It really gets me going. And then I like to practice meditation after my workday. It lets me sort of shed the tension from the day, the tension that I was holding from having to do things. Tension isn't a bad thing. You need tension to be able to do things. If you want to lift something, you need your muscles to be tense. You need muscle tension. If you're totally slack, you're not doing anything. But if you're trying to go to sleep or you're trying to relax, you need to shed the tension. So that's why I like to meditate first thing in the morning to get me going, to clear my head, to get me sharp for the rest of the day, to get me clear and focused for the rest of the day. And then in the evening, right after I finish my workday. Everyone's different. Different people have different practices, but I definitely recommend doing at least once a day meditation, at least 5 minutes per meditation. Now that's very minimum, but 5 minutes per day is very easy for anyone. Think about that, 5 minutes in a day. You might be very, very busy, but that 5 minutes in the day will save you a lot of time by helping you make better decisions, helping you go in the right direction rather than going in the wrong direction with your work and then wasting hours of your time or days or weeks or months or years of your time. That 5 minutes a day really pays off and will save you a lot of time in the long run. Personally, I recommend doing at least 15 to 20 minutes per meditation session. It really, really helps to get deeper, and if possible, 30 to 45 minutes per meditation session. If you can do two of those, 2 45-minute sessions per day or 2 30-minute sessions per day, once in the morning, once in the evening, you're pretty good. You're good. And if you want to actually teach, I recommend doing an hour in the morning and an hour in the evening would be good. 2 hours or so per day. If over time, you'll understand meditation much more deeply and you'll be able to teach it a lot better. You should consider this course as the beginning of your teacher training, and it will give you the diploma and the certificate that you can use to teach. But if you want to be a good teacher and you want to actually really be able to convey meditation to people, you need to have your own practice. And not only that, but you should practice for some time. I would recommend practicing at least a few weeks or months of consistent daily practice before you start approaching people as a teacher. Meditation is an activity that you do with both your body and your mind. With your body, mostly you're staying still. And with your mind, in most meditations, you're also kind of staying still, or you're trying to. Let's start with what you do with your body, because that's an easier thing to show you. And then we can start getting into what to do with your mind, because that is the essence of meditation, and that's the trick. There are many ways that you can meditate. You can meditate laying down, standing, hanging upside down, doing a headstand. You can meditate in any position. But over the millennia, meditators have found that there are certain positions that work better than others. And some positions work better than others for specific meditations. For example, in breathwork meditations, it's often best to lie down, because if you're standing, you might actually collapse and hurt yourself. In Buddhist concentration meditations, on the other hand, sitting is generally considered the ideal posture. That's why you tend to see people sitting and meditating like this or like this, because if you lay down while you're trying to meditate and while you're concentrating deeply on one thing, you'll often fall asleep. When you get into a deep state of meditation, it will often just turn into a deep state of being asleep. And with meditation, we're trying to wake up rather than go to sleep. We're trying to become more conscious rather than less conscious, more awake rather than less awake. I've taught meditation classes where I had people lie down to meditate and half the class fell asleep. That's not what you want in a meditation class. Sitting up with the spine straight is probably the ideal posture for most meditations. Not all, but most. There are 5 or 6 main postures that people use for sitting meditations. 4 of them come from ancient India, and 2 of them come from Japan. The ancient Indian, Hindu, and Buddhist traditions, India, Nepal, Southeast Asia, that whole area, pretty much most of the world, goes with what we call lotus-style positions. A lotus is like a flower. It's a certain type of flower that grows in the mud, and it's got all these petals. And when you sit like this, it kind of resembles a lotus. That's why it's called that. So what you're seeing me sitting in right now is something like quarter lotus. But let's start with the easiest one. Easiest one is called Burmese posture, and you're just sitting with one leg in front of the other. So there's that Indian style sitting. Indian style, you're kind of like sitting with your legs crossed, kind of. This one, we're not crossing the legs. You have one leg in front of the other. And this is Burmese posture. Now, the reason we use these cushions, see this? So this is a sort of a Zen-like cushion setup that I have here. This one is like a big cushion that forms a base for you. And this one goes under your butt. Now, you could just sit straight on the floor. You could sit on wood. You could sit on concrete. I've done both. Having this cushion underneath makes it a lot easier to sit for longer periods of time. It's more comfortable. If you're very flexible, you won't need one of these types of cushions. If you're very flexible, then you can just sit on a flat surface or a flat cushion like this and be fine. However, most people use these types of cushions because it helps them not just with your butt. It doesn't just help with your butt, but it also helps with your back. Because what happens is, first of all, you shouldn't be slumped over like this. You shouldn't be overly extended like this. You should be neutral spine, straight and tall. I like to imagine someone has attached a string to the top of my head and is pulling upward. If you imagine that, it really helps you straighten your spine. And your spine is just straight and tall. You sit like this. And this is a pretty good posture for meditation. Now, what happens to a lot of people is your back starts to hurt. The back starts to hurt if the body is a little bit out of alignment. Mainly that happens if the hips are too tight and you don't have enough flexibility in your lower body. So then you take one of these guys and you stuff it under your butt. And now that that just goes under your butt, but your legs go in front of that cushion. This props your butt up so that your butt is higher than your knees. If your butt is lower than your knees, like if your knees are sticking up and your butt is on the ground, you're going to end up with knee issues. It's going to hurt your knees. It's going to hurt your back. If you get your butt higher than your knees, then you're good. So this generally gets your butt higher than your knees. It helps your back stay straight, and it helps you be more in alignment. Really find the position that works best for you, that you can sit comfortably for long periods of time, because what you're just trying to get your body into a position that it can stay for a long period of time and sit comfortably. That way your mind can settle deeply into these states of altered consciousness without having to worry about your body. So you're sitting up on this pillow, or you're not sitting on a pillow, whatever. Here's a few different ways that you can move your legs. Let me sit on the pillow for now. It might be easier for you to see. Here I have this leg in front of this leg. That's Burmese posture. Now, a second posture is if you put this leg on this foot on top of this calf. If you can see that. That is called quarter lotus. Half lotus, if you're a little bit more flexible, you put this foot onto this thigh. And this is, for me, my preferred sitting position. If your knees should be on the ground, and if your knees are sticking up, go back a level until your knees are both on the ground. And if your knees are not both on the ground in Burmese, just sit in Burmese for a while, and eventually, if you try to don't force it, but if you just let it be, eventually you'll get a little bit more flexibility in your legs. Just keep in mind, the knees should be on the ground, ideally. And if they're not, then just do the easiest posture possible that you can keep your knees on the ground. This is quarter lotus, half lotus, where my foot is resting on the opposite thigh. You shouldn't tweak your ankle too much if possible. And lastly, there's full lotus, where both feet are on the opposite thighs. Now, some people, especially children or very, very flexible people, are flexible enough to do this for long periods of time. That's not easy. I find this to be a very difficult posture, even still after over a decade of meditating. I can sit comfortably like this for a few seconds and then it starts to hurt. You don't want to be meditating in a position that's going to start to hurt. You want to be in a position that's going to be relatively comfortable for a long time. However, the reason that this is considered the king of the meditation postures, or the best meditation posture, is because you're so locked in. If you're comfortable like this, you're so locked in on your lower body that it just gives you a very stable base, and then you don't even need to worry about your legs. You just keep your spine straight and you're good. Your posture is good. In the other postures, the looser the posture is, the more your legs can move around. So the less they're locked in, the less stable it is. So my preferred posture is half lotus. You can do whatever posture is the most comfortable for you. There are some other postures that I'd like to show you. These postures come from, the lotus postures come from India, Nepal, Southeast Asia, even China, pretty much everywhere. But in Japan, the Zen monks came up with a couple of other postures that work pretty well. One of them is kneeling posture, which is feeling really good for me right now because I've been sitting in lotus for a while. Kneeling posture is very stable. It's a good posture too. You just put a pillow underneath or not. I prefer it with the pillow underneath. You can even turn the pillow sideways if that's good for you. And if none of these postures work for you, you can just sit on a chair. Just keep your feet on the floor, flat if you can. Keep your back straight and tall. Don't lean on the back of the chair. For these sitting meditation postures, you want to be straight and tall and alert. Now think of the difference between sitting like this or sitting like this. Did you ever have a teacher yell at you in elementary school? I know I did, for sitting slouched forward and say, straighten up, pay attention. That happened to me all the time when I was a kid. Think about what that conveys. It conveys you're not paying attention, you don't really care. Sitting up like this, You're at attention. You're alert. That's what this posture is all about. And the position of your body actually affects how your mind is working in any given moment. So you should actually try it right now. Try it slouching forward like this, and then sitting up alert. You'll feel the difference in your mind. This is much more alert. This is much more drowsy, like that. You get the idea. Laying down is much more relaxed, and it's good for certain meditations like Breathworks, and for body scan meditations, very good. Standing up is another interesting posture, and this is often used in conjunction with other postures. Here, standing up, mountain pose, like this with the hands turned forward. This is a mountain pose, it's a yoga pose. You can meditate like this too. These are all good meditation postures, but standing up is pretty simple. I don't really need to describe it to you too much. Laying down, I don't really need to describe to you. It's called Shavasana. That means corpse pose. Lie down. Pretty simple. We'll just call this lying down posture. Your hands should be at your sides. You get the idea. So those are the main meditation postures that we're going to be using in this course. And when we come to a meditation in the next section where we're going to be trying a specific posture, just know that that's the recommended posture. If you can't get into that posture, it's okay. You can use a different one. But try, if you can, to use the recommended posture for each meditation. While sitting in these postures, you may find that sensations arise in your body that you might classify as pleasant or unpleasant. The back may start to ache, the knees may start to hurt, the hips may start to hurt. You should be aware that there are certain things that happen in the body. For one thing, since you're squashing the nerves in your butt that run into your legs are likely to fall asleep. It's totally okay for your legs to fall asleep. That's part of meditation. I've spent long periods of time in monasteries where the monks would meditate all day with their legs completely asleep and then go on 50-mile hikes through the wilderness. Some people think that the legs falling asleep means you're cutting off circulation to your legs. That's not true. It's actually just cutting off the nerve sensation. And that's totally fine. It doesn't damage your legs in any way. You can certainly sit with your legs asleep for an hour or two at a time without worrying about anything. Try to observe the sensations of the legs falling asleep as a fascinating experience of sensations in the legs. Try to experience it that way, and you may find that it's no longer unpleasant, it's no longer terrible, but rather it's interesting. Cultivate that sense of curiosity for the experience of reality as it is. And with non-judgmental awareness, that is, that equanimity, non-judgmental awareness, just observing the sensations as they are, arising, changing, and passing away. When you get up from meditation, if your legs are asleep, be careful. I've heard stories of people that fell and broke their noses from trying to walk with sleeping legs. Don't do that. Let your legs wake up. To do that, get your butt off the ground, get your butt off the cushion. If you lift it up for a while, your sensation will start coming back in your legs. You can also lay down. That's my favorite way to get my legs to wake up, is just laying down. It's nice and easy, especially if you're able to just lay down in a comfortable and safe position. Another thing that you may feel is pain in your back and your hips. If you're feeling pain here in your hips, like here, it usually means that you're stretching parts of your body that are tight. It's not good to have sharp pain. Don't go for intense pain, but if a little bit of aching after some time, or an ache after some time, means you're stretching yourself out, and that's a good thing. You can feel that in your legs here. You can feel that in your back. Actually, in your back, if you feel that aching, it means that you're building the muscles in your lower back, especially in your lower back. If you sit up straight, you're building muscles in your lower back that are too weak right now. And that's actually a good core exercise. It's something that will exercise the back of your core, just like you would exercise the abs. in the front of your core. If you feel pain in your shoulder blades, there's some exercises that you can do. Stretches like this. If you feel pain in your shoulder blades, you should try to keep the shoulders down when you're meditating. So opening the chest with the shoulder blades going back and down, and then resting your hands comfortably like this on your legs. There's a mudra that's a hand posture that you're touching your thumb to your forefinger and then your 3 fingers coming out like this, like a little turkey or something. There you go. Those are the mudras. This is one mudra. There's many different types of mudras. Whether they help or not, I don't really know, but I like it. It keeps me focused in a certain way. And you can also just put your hands straight down on your lap, on your knees. You can put your hands down on your lap like this, folded on top of each other. You can do this one on top, you can do this one on top. Different meditative traditions say, you need to have your left hand on top, or you need to have your right hand on top. But I think it's fine either way. You can put the mudras like this, just keeping your shoulder blades back and down. There's many other mudras too. Just do what feels right to you. And you can experiment with different positions. If you feel sharp pain in your knees, stop sitting like that. Sharp pain in your knees is ligament pain. You don't want that. It could be ligament pain or tendon pain. That can turn into knee problems. That's not good. If you feel sharp pain in your knees, you gotta change your posture. If you feel sharp pain in your ankles, that can also indicate a ligament or tendon issue. Change your posture. If your ankle is all tweaked like this, you might wanna move it a little bit more onto your legs so that it's like a little bit more stable, or go into a less tight posture, a looser posture where your ankle can be more stable. You'll find the postures that are right for you. Just keep experimenting with it and you'll find the right postures for you. Thank you for joining me in this video. I'll see you in the next one. This meditation is called straight up mindfulness. This is basically just being mindful, being present, being here, being awake in this moment. We're not going to try focusing on any particular thing. We're not going to try focusing on the breathing. We're not going to try focusing on the body. All we're going to do is just be here. To be here, I want you to just come into this moment. Bring your attention fully into this moment. Bring your mind into this place and time in the space-time continuum, this point in the space-time continuum, right here. Be aware of any sounds that you hear around you. I hear the sound of a siren going by, an ambulance on the street here in the East Village. Listen to the sounds around you. Feel all the sensations in your body. See everything that is in your visual field without focusing on one particular thing. Just be here with your senses in this moment. As you sit here, aware of all your senses in this moment, you may notice certain things. You may notice the sensations of your breathing. That your torso is inflating and deflating. You may notice this. You don't need to worry about it. Don't even need to worry if you don't notice it. Just, you may notice the feeling of your skin. If it's warm, if it's cold. If there's wind. If it's still. You may Notice the feelings inside your body, your stomach, your head, your shoulders, your back. You may notice a funky smell or the absence of smells. You may notice the taste of the inside of your mouth, or if you have your eyes closed, the orange light on the inside of your eyelids. You may notice, if you're not focusing on any particular thing, you may notice the entirety of your visual field. It's like the coolest, most HD TV screen or movie screen in the world. It's 3D, goes to all the limits of your vision, all encompassing. It's like virtual reality, but just actual reality. As you bring your mind into this space, here and now, your attention becomes more concentrated here, not pulled into the past or the future, just here and now. Experiencing what it's like to be alive in this moment. It's beautiful. You can sit here like this and just enjoy being alive right now in this seated position, or you could stand up and walk around and still be here. Still be here now. Wherever you go, there you are. If you walk, you are still the center of your universe. This body with its senses moves around, and wherever it is experiencing that place. It is always here. It is always now. Even though you think that there's a future, oh, things will happen, and you think that there was a past, things did happen, you're never there. The past and the future are always in your mind. When those things happened, it was now. If you went back in time and asked yourself, hey, is this the past? You'd say, no. What the fuck are you talking about? This is the present. If you go into the future and ask yourself, hey, is this the future? You say, no, what the fuck are you talking about? This is the present. It's always the present. It's never the past. It's never the future. Those are just in your head. So if you want to experience your life at the time that it's happening, in the time and place that your life is happening, you have to bring your mind here and now. This is mindfulness. This is being here now. This is presence. And now don't get lost in my words. Instead, hear the sounds of the words as part of the sounds around you, as part of all the sounds. And hear the silent spaces between my words. Because the silence is just as real as the sound. Listen to it. It's the empty space in which the sounds arise. And speaking of space, do you see all this frickin' space around you? How crazy is that? There's all these objects, yes, sure, objects. But the space, that's what allows the objects to exist. Without space, the objects couldn't exist. Wow. Take a look. Look around you. Look at all this space. Not the walls, Not the sky, not the trees, not whatever's around you, not the objects. Look at the space. Wow. Hear the silence. The space that allows the objects to exist and the silence that allows the sounds to exist. Just take a moment to bathe in your senses, in this moment of sensory experience. Just bathe in it. Let it envelop you. Let this moment of experience envelop you. You can see how this might turn into a deeper meditation, but that's not what this video is about. We're just staying here and now. We're not going deeper yet. We'll do that in a future video, which does not yet exist. For now, it is only here, it is only this. This is reality, unfiltered. Walking around in this state is a very powerful thing. You have to try it for yourself. When I walk around in this state, all I see is beauty and wonder and love. And it is beautiful. There's another concept called equanimity. Equanimity means non-judgmental awareness. This is an important concept because if you walk around and you're perceiving everything but you're judging it at the same time, you stop perceiving clearly. You start perceiving your own judgments, your own interpretations of reality. Mindfulness is about being aware of reality as it is, seeing clearly. Vipassana means clear seeing. You're seeing clearly rather than just seeing your own interpretations and judgments upon reality. So with equanimity, when you walk around, even if you see something that you would normally have judged as bad, like somebody with a mullet or a person wearing clothes that are far too tight, or even a squirrel stealing food from another squirrel, whatever it is that you see that is something you would normally have considered bad or sad, instead try for a moment to just see. If you drop all the judgments, suddenly the person with the mullet is just a beautiful thing, full of colors and shape and form and movement. The squirrel stealing food from the other squirrel is just it's just nature playing out. And there are many other things that are more intense, emotionally sad or terrible things. But the more we can stay in equanimity, the more we can experience reality as it is, just experiencing everything as it is. And when you do that, you relate to everything with a certain kind of love that you can't understand if you don't experience it. It's a love of reality. It's a love of existence. It's a love of being, like the French call joie de vivre, the joy of life. Whatever you experience, whatever you encounter is existence. It's reality. It's life. It is being alive. It's the experience of being alive here, now, in this moment. And it's beautiful. No matter how good or bad it is in your mind, beyond your mind, it just is. Mindfulness and equanimity go hand in hand. If you judge things, if you get upset or even happy, if you judge something as good or bad, a sensation in your body, oh, this twitch is bad, or, oh, this relaxation is good. You lose the clear seeing. You lose the clear experience of reality. So don't judge it. Just experience it now. Your body. Experience all of your senses. I call this meditation, if you want to call it that, this mindfulness, I call it awakening to the 6 senses. And I'm not talking about seeing ghosts. I'm talking about sight, hearing, smell, taste, touch, and thought. In the Western world, they consider it to be 5 senses. In the Eastern world, for millennia, they've had 6. Thought is the 6th sense. Now, as you meditate, as you sit here, as you sit and be mindful here, and as you come into this moment, you may start to notice why. Senses are ways of experiencing life, experiencing the world, experiencing. Sound. A sound arises, you hear it. A sound arises, you hear it. The sound is the stimulus, and the hearing is the response. The sound, the stimulus, arises and passes away. And the response happens in your mind. The response is, oh, there was a sound. The same thing happens with vision, light. Light goes on, stimulus, you see it, response, boom. And the light may turn on and go away. It arises, it exists, and it passes away, just like everything else. Same with smells, same with tastes, same with sensations in your body. Same with thoughts. A thought arises, it exists for some time, maybe changes, and then disappears. It is a stimulus to which we respond. And we can just observe everything here. If a sound arises, you don't have to listen to it to hear it. If a sight arises, you don't have to look at it to see it. If a thought arises, you don't have to think about it to experience it. When we get into actively going into a specific sensory experience, if a sound arises and we actively listen, or if a light arises and we actively look, or if a thought arises and we actively think about it, then we lose the awareness of everything else. We just go into that thing. Like a thought train. If you get lost in thought, you can get lost in thought for hours to the exclusion of everything else. That's not what we're doing right now. Instead, whenever anything arises, a sound like these words, let them arise and let them pass away. Whenever a sight arises, maybe you see somebody walking through your field of vision, let the person walk through. That's it. They come and they pass away, but don't follow them with your eyes, just let them walk through your vision. And the same with thoughts. When they come up, hey, it's there, and let it pass away. Without trying to repress it, without actively looking away from the person, or closing your ears to the sound, or repressing the thought. Just let things arise, let them exist, and let them pass away. And here you are, at the center of it all. Conscious. Experiencing. You are here, the experiencer of everything. This is mindfulness. This is being here and now in this moment. Being awake. Stay awake with me here. Don't let your mind get dragged out by theories or thoughts or concepts. Don't worry about those. Let them come and let them go. Just stay here with the sound of my voice, the sound of the silence, with all this space around you and all these objects, just here in the center. Consciousness itself is like that space. It's like that silence. It's empty. It's receptive. Consciousness is the stage upon which the play of your life plays out. Consciousness is the arena. Consciousness is the context in which all of these experiences arise. Try to be aware of that consciousness now. Just consciousness. That sphere of the things that you're aware of, the sphere that surrounds everything, the sphere that encompasses the silence and the sounds, the sphere that encompasses this space and the objects around you. This sphere of everything you're experiencing right now in this moment, that is this moment of consciousness. And you want to know something really cool? That consciousness is just like clear, empty blue sky in which the clouds move. That consciousness is just clear, empty, receptive. It's not a thing. It's no thing. It's the context for the things. It's just empty space. It doesn't have any attributes. It doesn't have attributes like tall or short. It doesn't have attributes like man or woman. It doesn't have attributes like happy or sad. It doesn't have attributes like Republican or Democrat. It doesn't have any of these personality attributes that we think of as ourselves, that we attach to ourselves and say, I am this, I am Democrat, I am male, I am this or that. All of these are just personality attributes, surface level. Who you really are, when you say, I see, I hear, I smell, I experience, that I that you're referring to is this consciousness. The consciousness that's this empty, receptive thing that is experiencing everything. Even when you say, I think, the consciousness is experiencing the thoughts. This I, this empty consciousness, this pure, receptive consciousness that is here, experiencing, is the same empty, receptive consciousness that has no attributes, is exactly the same empty, receptive consciousness that exists in you, that exists in your parents, that exists in somebody on the other side of the world, that exists in your pet dog, that exists in a squirrel, that exists in a fly, that exists in an alien in an alternate universe. And this is not theory, this is just consciousness. Just like space here is the same as space in another galaxy. It may have different attributes, but it is space. Consciousness is consciousness. I am I. You are also I. And every conscious being in this universe and beyond is I. We are all pure, empty, receptive consciousness experiencing the universe or the multiverse from all these different vantage points. And that is a beautiful thing. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. For now, we are simply here, now in this moment, experiencing what is here, in this point in the space-time continuum. Just this. And if you let yourself be here, now, when you get up from this meditation, actually, you should pause the course. After this video, pause and just get up and walk around and try to stay in this zone, in this state. Try to avoid getting distracted by people who really try to get your attention. Try to just walk around for a bit in nature if you can, or in a quiet, empty place. Or if there's people around that are not going to distract you, maybe strangers that are walking around, that's fine. Just walk around for a bit and just experience what it's like to just be here. Not in the future, not in the past, not thinking about something you have to do tomorrow, not thinking about something that happened yesterday. Just being here in this moment. And when you do end up in a conversation with someone, try to stay in the moment. Try to stay here now with them, hearing their words as sounds, hearing the silence between their words, seeing the space around them, seeing the color and shape and form of the person you're talking to. Maybe even experiencing that person's smell without going and shoving your nose in their face or anything like that, but just experiencing the person as another beautiful part of existence. And you may find a kind of love that you didn't ever really know existed. So that's your homework for right now. Go around, walk around in this state of presence. Enjoy. Namaste. Now that we've experienced basic mindfulness coming into the present moment, let's try to narrow our mindfulness to a more concentrated focus. As we move into these concentrated meditations, I also recommend using the seated posture for these meditations. Either quarter lotus, Burmese posture, half lotus, or whatever. I'm going to sit in, I'll sit in quarter lotus for right now. This meditation has been used by ancient peoples all around the world. Even in Game of Thrones, one of the characters, the Red Woman, used fire as a sort of meditation. Stare into the fire and you will see. This meditation, we narrow our focus to a candle flame. If you have a candle, get it. If you want, you can use something else. This is a piece of Palo Santo, Palosanto. Google it. Look on Amazon. I'm going to put a link in this course where you can buy some. So look for that. Palo Santo is awesome. It smells really good. It looks really cool. It's beautiful. It smells nice. The smell is really nice. Now, it's like incense, but better. I'm going to stare into this candle flame. Now, you get a candle flame if you can. Try not to put it right next to your face. Don't burn yourself, please. Get yourself a nice candle and stare into the fire. We're narrowing our mindfulness to the flame. We're watching this living, breathing thing as it exists, as it arises, and as it passes away. Now, I'm not sure if this is going to set off a smoke detector in this place, and I'd rather that not happen. So I'm going to stop for now, but you should try this for 5 to 10 minutes, just staring into the flame, narrowing the mindfulness to a concentrated single point of attention. Try it for 5, 10, 15 minutes. Feel what it does to your mind. Enjoy. Namaste. Hello, and welcome to the mindfulness of breathing exercise. This is where this course starts to get really awesome. Mindfulness of breathing is an ancient meditation technique invented probably around the time of the Buddha or before. The Buddha taught in the Anapanasati Sutta this exact meditation. He goes really into detail, and it's awesome. And if you want to really dive into this meditation, I can highly recommend some monasteries for you in Thailand and places like that. Wat Suan Mok in particular, awesome, in southern Thailand. That's where I learned this technique. I'm not going to teach you the entire Anapanasati technique. I'll leave that for an ordained monk. I will teach you the practice that I do, that I have adapted from the Anapanasati technique. Anapanasati just means, Ana means in-breath, Pana means out-breath, and Sati means mindfulness. Basically, it means mindfulness of the in-breath and out-breath. What that means is we're going to be focusing our attention and concentrating our minds on the subtle sensations that accompany the flow of air in and out of the body. We cannot experience the air itself. It is air. It is not us. It is not this body. But what we can experience is the sensations in the nose, in the nostrils. As the air flows through, we can experience sensations in the throat. We can experience sensations in the chest as it inflates the whole abdomen and the entire torso as it inflates and deflates. We can experience the sensations of the mind, the different types of thoughts that happen on the in-breath and the out-breath, the different types of mental feelings, the different types of emotional feelings that happen as the air is flowing in, as the body is full of air, as the air is flowing out, as the body is empty of air. That's all we're going to do. We're just going to sit and be aware of our experience as we breathe. And we can narrow it from this broad experience of breathing, where you're just feeling the whole body breathing. Narrow it down. We're going to narrow it down to the sensations of the air on the nostrils. And we're going to experience what that's like. So follow me now into this meditation. Close your eyes. And just observe. First, we come into the present moment. We settle into here and now. Just like in the mindfulness meditation. We are here and we are now. We're experiencing. We're experiencing all of our senses. Sight, sound, smell, taste, touch, mind, everything. We're experiencing it all here in this moment, within the sphere of consciousness. And if we sit here and experience it all, we do notice in the center of it all, in the very center, right here in the center of the nervous system, the chest and the torso inflating and deflating with the breathing. Just watch it happening. Don't try to control it in any way. Don't try to make it deeper, faster, slower, nothing. Just watch. Your body is breathing. Observe how it feels in the torso as the torso inflates and deflates. Observe how it feels in the nostrils as the air flows in and out. Observe how it feels in the throat. Just sit here and watch as your body continues to breathe. Just observing, like watching an animal in a zoo. Don't go to zoos, by the way, it's bad. Watching an animal in nature. Here you are, an animal in nature, in your natural habitat. You're a human animal, and this is your habitat. Just observe this human sitting here, breathing. All it's doing is sitting and breathing. Maybe it's generating thoughts from its nervous system. Maybe it's experiencing emotions. Maybe there are sensations in its body. But really all it's doing is sitting and breathing. And experiencing this moment. Experiencing this moment of being alive. With the mind centered in the breathing. And now the mind sometimes wanders away, gets pulled off on a thought train, pulled off into some rabbit hole. Happens a lot, happens all the time. That's just how your mind works. It's okay that happens. That's your mind, that's how it works. Don't worry about it. But when it does happen, just bring your attention back gently with a smile to the sensations of the air flowing in and out of your body. Back to the center. Concentrating the mind. Concentration means in bringing to the center. Concentration, concentrate. Bring it to the center. And even as you hear my words, even as sensations arise in your body, even as the mind wanders and comes back, just keep the mind centered in the breathing. In the subtle flow in and out. The mind tends to wander during long stretches of silence. If you notice it wandered, bring it back. With a smile, hey, you just noticed that the mind wandered. That's great. That's mindfulness. Now, recenter. Watching the breath flowing in and out of the body. Just watching the body as it breathes. The longer you do this, the longer you let your mind concentrate in the breathing, the more powerful the effects. For now, let's concentrate the attention very precisely on the entrance of the nostrils, where the air begins to flow in, and where you feel the air flowing out. Let's try for 2 or 3 minutes to just focus on the nostrils, the sensations of the nostrils as the air flows in and out. If you notice your mind wandering away a lot, use more effort in the attention, focusing harder on the sensations in the nostrils. If you notice that your brow is all scrunched up and your mind is not wandering away, but you're getting sort of a headache and you're too scrunched up, that means you're focusing too hard. You want to find a balance between effort and relaxation. You want to find the most relaxed point, just watching the breathing in the nostrils, watching the sensations in the nostrils, finding the most relaxed point that stops your mind from wandering away. Just enough effort to keep the attention focused and concentrated there, without going too hard, without going overboard. Now that the mind has been concentrated in the nostrils, keep the center there in the nostrils, but become aware of the entire body. Once again, expanding the mindfulness into the entire body. Sitting here, breathing. And when you expand into the entire body, you also feel the sensations of the eardrums, that sensations that we call hearing, and you feel the sensations of the eyeballs, those sensations that we call seeing. If your eyes are closed, the eyeballs will be feeling the light on the inside of the eyelids. It's like an orange light as the light from outside filters through the tiny red capillaries inside of your eyelids. It gives it an orange glow as it reaches your eyeballs. Just sit in the awareness of the entire body, the sensations from the tips of the toes to the top of the head, to the tips of the fingers. The smell of the air, the sound of my voice and the silence, and the glow of the eyelids. And now, as you sit here, still aware of the breathing in the center, allow the eyelids slowly, slowly, slowly to drift open. Don't focus on anything in particular. Just let the visual field come into view. And you can close your eyes slowly and see the orange glow and feel the entire body and feel the breathing. And as you open your eyelids slowly, try to maintain that awareness of the entire body and the breathing and the visual field. Try not to change your awareness as the eyelids come down through your visual field and go up through your visual field. Try to maintain the same awareness that you had with the eyes closed. And close your eyes. You feel your entire body. You feel the breathing. Now staying with all of that awareness, let the eyelids drift through the visual field upward, staying with the body, staying with all the sensations of the breathing. You're now meditating with the eyes open. Smile in the knowledge that you're able to meditate with the eyes open. Now, if you lose it, come back, close your eyes again. Find the body, find the breathing, find the center. Find the flow of air in and out of the nostrils. And anytime you want to come back into the meditative state, you can just close your eyes and find the body, find the breathing, find the center, and then keeping that awareness, holding on to it, staying with it, letting the eyes drift open through the visual field, staying with the body, staying with the breathing. Here you are meditating with the eyes open. Some Zen masters and meditation masters walk around in this type of meditative state all day. Wouldn't that be beautiful? You can do it. Just keep practicing this, and you can do it. I recommend sitting for longer periods than this. This was just a short video, but you can do this meditation for hours. I recommend maybe half an hour, 45 minutes. Even 10-15 minutes is good. Don't be afraid of long stretches of silence. Don't be afraid of the mind wandering. That's what it does, especially in long stretches of silence. The key to this meditation is just observing the body and observing the mind, using the breathing as an anchor in the center to keep you grounded in the present moment. But the real benefits of this come from observing your experience of life, your experience of reality, observing what your body feels, observing what your mind does. That's the real key and benefit to this meditation. So whenever your mind wanders, happily note it. Hey, my mind wandered. Maybe you even notice what it wandered to. That's fine. Just bring it back to the breathing. And the longer you do this, the deeper you can go. I could do an entire course on this type of meditation. Anapanasati is very deep. There are 10-day courses in Thai monasteries on this subject that go very deep, much deeper than this. And they are very powerful. And I highly recommend doing one of those 10-day courses at some point. Or just going deeper into this. Maybe I'll upload another course specifically on this type of meditation if you want to dive deeper. But for now, this course is going to move on to other types of meditation. But I want you to try, just for today, stop the course here. Don't move on to the next type of meditation yet. Keep practicing this type of meditation. Keep practicing Anapanasati. And check the book. I can't always include everything in the videos, but there's a lot of good stuff in the book. So make sure you check this section of the book. Thank you so much for meditating with me in the Anapanasati style, mindfulness of breathing. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you in the next one. Namaste. Hi, and welcome back to the Meditation Masterclass. In this lesson, we're going to be going over Tibetan bowls and bowl meditations and sound meditations of all kind. So you see here in front of me this collection of Tibetan bowls. And actually there's a couple here that are newer style that they had at the studio here that I'm excited to try out. So these here are my bowls. I've actually bought them in Nepal. Tibet was unfortunately taken over by the Chinese government, and the Buddhists were driven out of the area, and many of them fled to India, and many of them fled to Nepal. Many of them were killed. It's a very sad period of Buddhist history and modern history. But for now, these bowls are being made in Nepal, in the Himalayas, in Kathmandu. That's where I picked these up. And some of these bowls are new, but this one was found in the Himalayas. It may have been made in Tibet a long time ago. So basically, I want to just give you an idea of how the Tibetan bowls work. It doesn't translate as well through video as it does through hearing them in person. So I would recommend that you get some bowls for yourself if you want to do these types of meditation, and if you want to teach these types of meditation. So there's two main ways that you can hit a bowl. And actually, before I do, I'd like to show you these cushions. These cushions are meant to have the bowl sit on top, and it's not just for decoration. It's because you want to be able to protect the sound from vibrating against the floor. So I'll give you an example. I'm going to move this out of the way. Oh, and you can see here, this one also has its own thing, like a little ring that protects it from vibrating against the floor. So here, if I put it straight on the floor, it doesn't sound very good if I hit it. I don't know if you can hear that, but it's got a little bit of an abrasive tone because it's vibrating the floor, and the floor is messing up the vibrations. But if you hit it when it's on this cushion, it's a much cleaner sound. The same goes for these new ones. You can see there's a little ring that you can put it on top of the ring, and it's got a beautiful tone. Wow, that's a really nice tone. If you want to stop them from ringing, you just put your hand on it. If you grab the rim of it, then it stops it from ringing. Now, the second way of ringing a bowl is by going around the edge. And you have to find the right speed and the right pressure for each bowl. Different bowls need different speed and different pressure. It has to do with the wavelengths that are created inside, the sound wavelengths that are bouncing back and forth between the walls of the bowl. That resonance of the sound waves bouncing back and forth between the sides of the bowl is what creates that unique sound and vibration. And the ancient Buddhists considered these resonant sounds to be healing in various ways. There hasn't been a lot of scientific research about the healing properties of these sounds, but there is a lot of anecdotal research that it can be helpful. And either way, it sounds really nice, and it helps you get into a meditative state to just listen to the sound. You just listen to the sound. The sound becomes the object of mindfulness. Another way that you can use these sounds as objects of mindfulness is to listen to the sound as it fades into the silence. Let's try this one. And we'll just listen to the sound as it fades into the silence. Try to notice the moment that you can't hear the sound anymore. I'm going to try another one just for you guys to hear the different tones. Just listen to the sound and try to hear it as it fades into the silence. Try to notice the moment that sound becomes silence. And as you continue to listen to the sound as it fades into silence, it really takes you deeper into silence. Let's try it again with this bowl. And as you listen to it, let it take you deeper into the silence. Notice how the sound arises, changes, and then passes away. Aside from Tibetan bowls, there are also chimes, which kind of act in a similar way. To ring the chimes in a nice way, you should hold them relatively close to the bells, relatively close to the metal. And just smack them together nice and quick. And you can hear that sound, that resonant sound, fading away. It's fun to play with the Tibetan bowls. This is a particularly appealing still frame from the Meditation Masterclass. If you enjoyed this video, then I think you'll really enjoy the full course. This is just the beginning. In the full course, we get into many different techniques, including breathwork, pranayama meditation, which is personally the one that I use the most. It helps me emotionally every single day, and I think that you'll get a lot out of the full course. If you're interested, it's in the description below. The link is in the description below or in one of the corners over here. I don't really know. but I'm sure it'll be somewhere visible. Check the description, it's probably in there. And in the full course, we also get into, aside from more meditation techniques, we get into metaphysics, we get into various traditions of meditation, including Japanese Zen and Theravada, Thai Buddhism, all these different types of meditation. We get into how to teach meditation, and at the end of the course, you can actually get a teacher's certification from the meditation organization. So I think you'll really enjoy the full course. Just check out the link below or in the corner here, and I'll see you there.